What a wild day. Check this out, guys. So, we have a handful of things to talk about. There's three specific stocks that reported earnings today after the market hours, and they saw a significant either push or drop. I thought I had a bad day with the loss that I took on PLTR. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I think it's the third link in the description down below. I shared how much it is that I took of a loss, and especially if you're part of my LPP team, then you were kept up to date with the entire trade that I took. So unfortunate giving back the gains that I made from yesterday shorting PLTR. But again, I see PLTR to be a stock that's incredibly overbought, and it has 20 to 30% retracements from time to time. I think with how overbought it's become, that could be a 30 to 40% pullback. Nonetheless, I have to be more patient. I have to be more calculated. It's not the last time I'm going to short PLTR, but it's definitely my kryptonite based off of my recent trades. Nonetheless, I wanted to quickly highlight this very fast. Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros is a company that reported earnings. It's been incredibly bullish with higher highs and higher lows. There's two companies that exceeded expectation, and there's one company that failed. The day hasn't completed, so it doesn't show that it's trading all the way up here, but Dutch Bros is now trading at $80 per share. It is up 25% after market hours. So as you guys can see, a huge gap up. The reason I like talking about this is, well, this is great for investors because investors were able to reap the benefit of this huge push. I want to see if this sentiment continues of, hey, are we going to go higher for longer, or are investors going to kind of trim profits off the top and prep for a pullback? Dutch Bros, again, for those that do not know, is pretty much like a coffee joint. There's a lot of them here in Arizona. It's been incredibly popular since its recent IPO. From overall lows of what was at like $40 per share, it ran up to highs of $81 and then came crashing down to lows of $20 per share. It's on this nice upswing again. And again, we can't predict the future. I'm not going to pretend like we can, but nonetheless, it's become very overbought within a short period of time. It does have great guidance for 2025. So if we look at this very quickly, we can pull it up here. It exceeded expectation for revenue at $342 million with the expectation of $318 million, and its earnings per share came in at 7 cents per share versus 2 cents. That is a surprise of 250%. So that is a huge win. Its guidance was also very good for 2025. Now, the thing that I'm going to be paying close attention to is just how the market reacts. Does Wall Street like it trading at $80 per share? Or is it too overbought where it begins to kind of give back some of those profits into the open tomorrow? We can't predict the future, but we can always prepare for it. So it's really nice to be able to seek or see opportunities like this to know where they're trading at and what can happen the days that follow or the day after it reports earnings. The other one that I quickly want to talk about is Reddit. Again, I thought I was having a bad day, but definitely not as bad as Reddit investors. They are down 13.5% after market hours, and this is after a monstrous rally for Reddit. Reddit has gone from lows of, $30 per share since its IPO, all the way to highs of $230 per share. It's been an incredibly bullish stock, and this is kind of like, it all depends on the type of investor or trader that you are. If you think that this is just a fluke, if you think that this is a short-term negative catalyst, that now you want to buy into this to make money on the recovery, then hey, potential opportunity here. Or if you think that this is the beginning of the end for Reddit, then this is where we really want to pay close attention to see if we begin to show signs of progress below the moving average on the 4-hour and start to show signs of lower lows and lower highs. It's obviously still very early, but is this going to be the turning point for Reddit as it's become incredibly overbought within a short period of time and due for a pullback? Again, or if you're a long-term investor, do you want to buy here, add more as direction becomes favorable, and then lock in profits at these overbought levels as Reddit has been incredibly bullish? There's so many different ways on how to make money in this market. The reason I like talking about companies after they report earnings because there's so much opportunity and so many different ways on how to look at it depending on how you see value. Is this a stock that I want to go long on, or is this a stock that you want to go short on? So make sure that you perform your fundamental and your technical analysis and see which one makes more sense to you if it meets your criteria. And the last one that I quickly want to highlight is Robinhood. Robinhood, after a monstrous year, from lows of $7 per share to highs of now $64, it's where it's trading at after market hours. This one's going to be very interesting to see how it trades once the market opens. It's going to be one that I'm going to be paying very close attention to see if it continues to rally, because it's been very bullish, or again, if investors want to take some off the top, trim profits, and see a little bit more selling pressure for this thing to potentially retrace. Remember, it's up 15%. So even if it gives back 5%, 5% is a huge day for me, right? So I want to pay very close attention to the price action tomorrow. I don't care about indicators. I don't care about anything else. I just want to see how Wall Street digests this $64 price level. Does it think it's cheap and we're going higher, or is it overbought enough that we begin to retrace? The other thing that I think that we should all be aware of is that, well, what the market did today. The market sold off a significant amount within a very short period of time after the CPI report was released. And then we quickly recovered and gained it all back and then some. Markets look bullish. But I want to remind you what tomorrow is. For those that do not know, remember, we provide this trading tool for you for free, techbudsolutions.com under trading tools. And you guys could see that tomorrow we have the PPI report, which is the producer price index report, or the inflation report on the production side of things. But then also there's initial claims and continuing claims. That's the number of people that are filing for unemployment for the first time and the people that continue to file for unemployment. Remember, the Federal Reserve wants to see the data to support them either cutting interest rates or continuing to pause. So it will be interesting to see what gets reported tomorrow, how the markets react based off of that report, and how the Federal Reserve reacts to all of this economic data that, again, it's just my 2 cents. It hasn't been good. It's showing that inflation is going up more than what is expected, yet Wall Street continues to want to push higher. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the market continues to trade with the volatility of, let's not forget, the past 2 weekends, not last weekend, but the weekends before, there was the scare or the fear of trade war. So it's going to be very interesting, again, to see how the markets continue to trade at these overbought levels with the sure uncertainty of these tariffs, right? These tariffs or this trade war that Trump has made very clear that he plans to continue to negotiate. So will the market continue to be volatile? We'll make sure that we keep you guys up to date. So again, if you guys haven't done so already, I'll see you tomorrow at market open for our live trading session. And if you want to tune on in to watch me trade live, it's the second link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.